Hi everyone, this is Sarah. I am behind the camera and I will be there in just a second. Let me see. Okay, so hang on a second. I'll be right there, I think. I'm hoping. Okay, hi everyone. It is Thursday and we are having some technical difficulties. I think because it's so cold here, I've had intermittent internet all day, and so if we make it through tonight, it'll probably be a good thing, but I can't guarantee we're going to make it through tonight. Just because OBS, or my program that I used, crashed right before I got on. Earlier, like, I couldn't get on my email. My internet's been intermittent, so we might not make it through tonight. So let's see if I have video. Let's see if I have sound. Oh, I do have sound. Okay, so, and my mom's not here with me because her car died. We are expecting 30 to 40 below weather starting at midnight, but I think it has started already. So we are going to go, we're doing Fun Time Thursday. We're doing Pet Lovers. If it dies, I'm not going to kill myself to get it restarted, just because it might just be what's going on weather-wise and freezing and all this other stuff, which some of you might be experiencing that also. But we'll try to get through tonight. My mom, I saw she might be online on her phone, so she probably can't link. I think Rob from Brass and Bliss will be on, so he'll try and link stuff for me. But I won't be able to answer all the questions because I can't see YouTube. I can just see Facebook. So I apologize if I miss your question on YouTube. Okay, let's get going. So we're just in a weird situation here. So let's see. Now I have to go back behind the camera to move it down to the table. So I'll be right back. Here we go. Okay. Overhead view. There we go. All right. So I can see Facebook, but again, I can't see YouTube, and I'm standing here by myself. My mom actually was at the dance studio. I was going to go get her, but somebody said that they were, and then she called, her car wouldn't start, so I was going to go get her. And then she had somebody coming, and they hadn't showed up as of about 5 minutes before 6 o'clock. So she's waiting at the dance studio, and she may or may not be on. And then I'm picking her up, so I'm not leaving her stranded at the dance studio. And then hopefully everybody's staying inside tomorrow because it's going to be brutal. So, all right, these are the cards we're making. This is Pet Lovers. We are making a magic card. So that's that. And I even forgot, I do have my stamps here that I was going to use. And I need to make sure I have my silver ink pad somewhere around here. And then this is a steno card that we split that front panel. And then we have one of our new split front accordion cards, which I think we're going to start with that one. So let's pull out the kit that has a lot of red in it. I'm not sure. I didn't even have a kit. I just kind of pulled the pieces and parts. So it has pieces and parts that look like this. So pull that one out. Okay, let me get rid of some of these. So while you guys are all pulling that out, let's just talk a little bit about, this is a new product. So this is called a split front accordion. So it's already scored right here, right here. So this is our inside back. So it's got the 3 side panels plus your back panel. Oh, my mom is here, yay, on her phone. She can see in here, but there's a lot of chatter in the background. So anyways, so this is a new card base. It's called a split front accordion, and it's 10 of the pre-scored cards. And then we did put A6 envelopes in because you have this belly band around it. Now the belly band is not included in the kit, and we will have belly bands online, and they're kind of going to be an adjustable belly band. You have one in your kit, but they'll be adjustable, so they'll be, I think, 4¼ inches wide, scored where they need to score, and then you can trim them to 1 inch to 2 inches, however big you want it, which I think ours is 1 1/8 inch. So we're gonna just pull that off, and let's go through our pieces because we have a lot of pieces in here. You have a bag of cats and dogs. Okay, I've got my cats pulled out separate, and I've got my dogs. So you can use the cats or dogs, or both. You have the card base, which is that. We'll get to that in a minute. You have your belly band, which they will come scored with 2 scores in them. I didn't have time to do that before doing this kit, so we're going to bend one of them. We have die cut word, a piece of Jupiter Star Dream, and a piece of silver, because that we're going to trim down ourselves. Oops, I got a cat floating around out here. We have a piece of red. This is for layering behind our inside words, which I might be missing my inside words, and that's okay. Because we just pulled from pieces and parts, so that's a piece that I'm missing. So I'm missing the inside words. You should all have them though. And I think there was a choice of a couple words to put inside here. Then we have a printed bone piece and a piece that kind of fits behind it. I was having a brain fart when I trimmed this one, and I forgot to trim it exact to size, so we're going to trim that off. We have another layered set, and then we have 2 of these layering sets, plus 1 more piece of red that is this size. Now these layers right here were all created with a die, and it's a new die set. So the new die set goes with the split front accordion. So it cuts your layers. So your little layers that fit right there is right there. These are your big layers, and then this is your middle size layer, along with some little tags, which we did use one of the little tags on the front. So there's 14 dies in this set. They are on the new page plus on the die page, so they'll show up closer to the top of the new, and I am doing like a 48-hour sale. Now it's not a pre-sale because I do have them, so these can ship fairly quickly. And we're working on packaging up the cards right now. These are also on the new products, so you can get them on sale for the next 48 hours or so, depending on when I get them off. I'll get them taken off sometime this weekend. So this is our kit, and we can go ahead and just start attaching some pieces just so we don't have as many pieces flying around. So let's go ahead. Now this one, again, I said I need to trim because I was having a brain fart when I trimmed it. And if you just line it up with any of the other printed pieces and just take a scissors and trim that off. So then you'll have the right length, which I believe is 5 inches, maybe. But I'm just using one of the other pieces and trimming it. Okay, so now we're going to attach these layers right here. And Lori, thank you. I'm glad you love the card kit. Okay, so we're going to attach these layers together. This Furry Friends pattern paper pad pack is one that we started with last year, but I didn't use it a whole lot. Oh, Ronalee's on it. She posted a link. I don't know if I can't see what she linked, but something. Maybe the new products. I can just see the length. All right. So these 2 pieces, I mean, I did sheet and I did cut them on our big trimmer so I could cut everybody's at one time, but I cut them to the exact size of the layering die. So we're attaching that, and I'll lay the card out so you can attach it at one time. Now, these two papers are black and white, so if you do, you know, if you see an animal in there that matches one of yours and you want to color, just color one animal in, that would be kind of fun. Or if you want to color the hearts in red on here, that would be kind of fun, and you could color the bones if you wanted. Kathleen, I won't be in tomorrow, so don't call me tomorrow. I'll be in on Saturday. Schools are called off here, or canceled here, so I have the grandkids tomorrow. I was actually supposed to be with them tomorrow anyways because Kirsten has to work. There's one Friday a month that I sometimes have them on a Friday. So tomorrow was my scheduled Friday, but school is off, so I will not be at the paper cut. We're gonna get all cozy warm inside. But yeah, it's unusual for our schools to cancel middle day, like they canceled in the middle of the day today, which is unusual that they canceled ahead. So, all right, now the card. I'm gonna start with, and we're just gonna fold it first so then we can get an idea of where our layers go. So I'm gonna start with our bumps up so you can feel. And if you're new to card making, usually people talk about the bump side and the indent side. So the bump side, you can actually feel the score. Technically, the bump is the inside of a card. So if you're just scoring, or you're just folding an A2 card and it's scored, you want to fold towards that bump, and the indent is on the outside. When you're doing things that are accordion, you do fold back and forth and back and forth. So that kind of breaks the rules because we don't score it on one side and score it on the other. It goes through the machine and it, you know, pushes them in. That's how you get the indent. So we are going to fold where we already folded it. We're going to fold that in, and that's our valley fold. Then we're going to fold that back. That's a mountain fold. See, we have our valley and our mountain. And then our little panel, so our littlest panel is off on our left, and we're going to fold that in. That's our accordion look on the front. And it's a split front because it's not all the way to the center like our shutter cards. Yeah, wind chill of 40 degrees below. So then you're opening it like that. So if you think about it, this is seen, and this one is seen, and this one is seen. But if you're looking at it, hang on, I'm going to just grab a pencil or something. I'm just going to, you don't have to draw on yours. I'm drawing on mine. Actually, I've got a pen next to me. I don't know if a marker is going to go through. So of your panels that are seen, it's right here, and right here. But see, on this side, you only have that one. On the other side, we have those two panels. So if you want to write on them so you know, but we are actually putting layers on the inside on all three panels. This is our middle center, but we're putting layers on all three. So let's attach those because then we can get those layers out of the way. So on the inside, we're attaching, on the furthest left, we're attaching the red panel. And then this is our inside of our card. And then I'm attaching the I love pets on the inside, or I love my pet, and then the paws. So let's just get those set up. Okay. So you can go ahead and attach those layers, and then we'll flip it over. But it was kind of, if you're not sure and you're having a brain fart, you know, once you get it folded, you can kind of mark those, and then you know which ones are seen on the outside. Okay, so we're going to attach our red one on the left-hand smallest panel. So these cards are on the new product page and they are discounted. So if you want to grab them while they're discounted, they'll be, you know, on the regular pages. Actually, I think I've got them on the regular pages too, but the discount will go away sometime over the weekend. And then we're going to attach a I Love My Pet. I think it would be really cute if you colored the hearts on this one red. But yes, Kathleen, call me, you know, call me on Saturday. I will be here all day. And then now the hearts and the paws go all different directions, so it doesn't really matter. All right, and then, so we got those attached. We'll do our cats later, and I'm missing my word, so you guys can cut, if you get ahead of me and I'm just yabbering too much, you can go ahead and pick out whatever word you want, and that's what you're going to use this layer for. But I'm going to flip it over, and those are the two panels that you're seeing right here and right here. But yeah, if you ever are like, I just can't even think about this, go ahead and put an X on them because you're going to cover them up anyways. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So I'm going to attach the dog paws right there, and then, you know, make sure you didn't flip it. You know, make sure you do mentally think about how they're face up, because if you have words on both sides, you know, or you don't want your animals upside down, make sure you didn't flip your card when you were flipping it over. I mean, I don't know across the whole country, but I know that for sure in Tennessee, because I've been talking to Rob from Brass and Bliss, you know, he was saying what they're going to have, and that their grocery stores and stuff are like decimated as far as milk and bread and eggs and fresh stuff. Here, not so much, because we're kind of used to that. It's just people will stay in for sure Friday, you know, tonight, Friday, and Saturday morning. All right. So now, depending on what you want to put down the side, you know, you can put, you know, pick a word that's going to go right here, layer that in red, or hold off. Sometimes you do that. And since I did one with cats, I'm going to do the other one with dogs. Oh, Linda's in Tennessee, yes. So pick whatever dogs will fit down the side. Like, I found some of the cats were a little bit longer. Brian actually has a sister that's in Georgia, and she was saying the same thing, where the grocery stores are light on food because people are stocking up. Because down there, they don't have, you know, all the equipment, and I don't know what they have for salt, but they're supposed to get ice down there, so that's a whole nother ball game. We're just getting cold. And I shouldn't say we're just getting cold, because it's not going to be fun. But when you're socked with ice and then snow on top of your ice, that can be brutal, especially for driving. So everybody be safe. Linda, be safe. Everybody, wherever you are, with whatever weather is going on. I think this is the Puppies die set. I actually do have to stop at Walmart tonight on my way home just for a couple things. I mean, usually I'm pretty stocked for, the kids are over tomorrow. And usually I'm pretty stocked for that stuff, but I gotta get a couple more things. Oh yeah, most of the states don't have snow plows. I remember once we were in Texas, coming north from Dallas, and actually the dog, I put glue on the dog that I was going to put above my word. So I'm just going to set him here, and I know I can put a word. I'll put a word right underneath him. Anyways, it just hit so fast, the black ice. That was scary. Started driving, and you get a drizzle, and you get a freeze, and bam, it happens just faster than you can imagine. I mean, here I'd rather have snow than this cold weather. But yeah, if you're not used to it and there's no plows, that sucks. So you can put your dogs wherever you want. I did put a cat on the other side too. I'll show you that in a minute. So on my cat one, on this front panel, I put a cat. Or you can put a cat on your band. But I do have them black and they won't show up as much. So I am going to put one of my pups on the front. I'll put the puppy looking pup. Yeah, definitely snow is better than ice, even walking. And if you get ice underneath the snow, that's really sucky. All right, so now we've got our inside done, minus I did not do my words because I'm missing those. For our band, like our belly bands, like I said, are going to come as a pack pre-scored, and they're going to be an adapt-a-belly band, meaning that you can cut it to whatever width you want. Those are not online yet, just because we didn't get those done. The paper is from us. The paper is from the Paper Cut. It's called Furry Friends, and it's a paper pack. My kid is still in my mailbox at the end of your snowy driveway. Well, Ronald just, I'm always here saved, so you can always do it. And if your kit didn't arrive, you know, due to weather, due to me not getting them out until Saturday, due to the holiday, you can always watch me later. So this will be saved forever and ever. Well, until Facebook shuts down, which I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So one side is folded because we did score one side. The belly bands that you're going to get in a pack will be scored twice. I just kind of bent that around, and then I put about an inch of tape on that one side, and I'm just folding it over and attaching it. Now, you can attach it on the back. For me, it doesn't really matter because we are going to cover it up anyways. And I could have attached this a little bit tighter, but I didn't. And we did put an A6 envelope in there just because of with all of the layers, with the folds, with the belly band, if you want to use any foam tape, it just got too tight in an A2 envelope. So we did put this in an A6 envelope. And we did start doing that with just a few products that have a lot of layers, one being the Twist and Pop. We're going to start putting an A6 envelope with that kit also. So we are going to take our Furry Friends. It's up to you if you want to pop it up with some foam tape. You can, and then you're just going to trim, which I think I'm going to pop mine up a little. Yeah, when I was having trouble getting on, I was on, and then it said it crashed, which it doesn't very often say that it crashed, but it said it crashed, and I was like, oh geez, am I going to be able to get back on? So luckily I was. All right, so I'm going to attach that, and then I'm going to trim after, and then I'm going to attach it to the silver. You can put as little or big of a border on there as you want. I'm going to go off to the side and trim this. And then I'm just going to use regular tape to attach it to my silver mirror card. Dodge is here with me. Tomorrow's going to be brutal taking him out, because he is a walker. He likes to walk and putz when we go out and go potty. He is not a Winnie. She's an in and outer. But Dodge is he likes to walk and smell and putz. And I hope that he says, nope, I don't want to do that. Because it's too darn cold to stay out there longer than a couple minutes. And I have to go out with him, because he takes even longer if he's on a tie out. So I don't do that. So anyways, then you're just going to attach this. Now when you're attaching it to your belly band, just make sure you're only putting tape where it is. So if you have a narrower belly band, whatever you're attaching, just make sure it attaches, you know, you only put adhesive where it's attaching to the belly band. And you can use belly bands on all sorts of things. So you can use them on shutter cards, on double shutter cards, just on an A2 card. So yeah, Dodge, I heard him, so I thought he was going to wander in here, because he's probably like, who are you talking to? But he didn't. So anyways, the only thing that I didn't do is attach some words right here on the inside of my card. But otherwise, that is our split front accordion, using the split front accordion layering die set to cut our layers. Plus you have some other little tchotchkes on there. And our Furry Friends pad. And the Brass and Bliss little puppies. And that's where all the words were from. All right. We're going to set that one aside, and I think we're going to go on to our front and back dogs, okay? Or cats. Can't leave cats out. Let's go to this kit. So Linda, you're in Tennessee. Are you crafting, or are you just watching because your kid is at home? Your kid's probably at home. So, all right, so let's go through our pieces first. We have our envelope, which I just put off to the side. We have a steno card. So the steno card we are going to trim. Okay, that's how we got it halfway down. And then you have either the front and back cats, or the front and back dogs. Actually, you have both of them. So you can pick what you want to use. You have 2 strips of red, 2 strips of silver. You have a word with a piece of Jupiter Star Dream. Actually, your kit, it might have, anyways, I didn't know I put the Jupiter Star Dream in both. I thought I just put the Red Hot in the other kit that we just did, but mine had Jupiter. So anyways, so you've got a piece of red for your words on the inside, and then you also have a piece of white, and you have layers of dogs and dogs with paw prints. Now, these are interchangeable. If you want to put the hearts on the front and the animals on the inside, you can do that. And again, I think it would be really cute if you have a dog that's gray. Maybe you color one of them gray, or you have an orange tabby cat. Maybe you color one orange. So let's talk about these layers right here. These are a quarter panel of an A2 card. Basically, a steno card is an A2 card. So that's a quarter panel. And so there's a new die set that has 21 dies that has your half panel going the horizontal way, or your half panel going the vertical way. And then it's got the quarter panel for cutting your, so this is great for cutting half panels, of both, you know, horizontally or vertically, along with your quarter panels too. So, you know, I've done classes before where we've done, and those are a bugger to cut. So this set has 21 dies to it, all the little layering pieces for all those different panels that you're going to use. Now this one is perfect on your A2 shutter card, on your double shutter card, and we're going to cut our panel right here. Now remember last year one of the other dies does do this, which I think is the A2 pop-up box card, but this set has all of them handy for whether you're going horizontal, whether you're going vertical, whether you want a quarter panel, you know, maybe you want 2 quarter panels with the half panel. So it's all there. And you can do 1 quarter panel this way plus your other 2, or you could do the half panel and then you could do 2 quarter panels. So then you have your 3 in a row. So I just think it's very useful because it cuts all those layers for you. So let's go on to our card. Now this, originally, when I did it, I cut it just slightly above here. And then I layered, and we'll get to that. And then I layered my red and my silver and my dogs. Okay. But when I attached my layer on the inside and my dogs, I thought, well, maybe they should be up just a little bit higher. So, Jill, yours did ship on Saturday, so I'll have to track it for you. Yeah, they all shipped, and you should have gotten a shipping notice, but they all shipped on Saturday, and I had people in Washington get theirs and New Jersey, so we'll have to see what's going on with yours. Because you're in Ohio, you should have gotten it for sure. Anyway, so I cut this one a little bit taller on the inside. I wanted a little bit more room on the inside than what I have. So I cut this layer just a little bit taller. And instead of cutting this totally in half, we maybe, if you want to, you can cut it a little bit higher. So we'll talk about that in just a second, because then you can put your dogs up a little bit higher if you want them up a little bit higher. So with not as much room on the top. And that's up to you. So we're going to do the trimming. And if you want to wait for a minute and see, you certainly can. When I trimmed my original one, the half point is 2 1/8. I'm going to trim it up a little bit higher, I think at 2 or 1.75. So I am first going to trim this way on my paper trimmer, and then I'm going to trim down the score. So like I said, 2 1/8 if you want to trim it excuse me, oh yeah, you're in Michigan. I always get you confused for Ohio, but you're in Michigan, you're even closer. So it should have gotten there, but I will check. But I know it did go, unless I'm having a serious brain fart. So anyways, 2 1/8 would be exactly in half. And we could go 2, or I'm going to try and go 1 3/4, because that's going to put it up a little bit higher. Because I want my dogs or cats a little bit higher. So I'm going to trim, and I'm just going to watch, and I'm going to trim just to my score. And if I even want to not do it exactly to my score, I can always take a scissors and trim it just so I don't trim past that score. So I can just take my scissors and give it a little 1/8 inch snip if I want to. And then I am going to take my trimmer right on top of the score and just trim now down to my cut line, and it should just kind of pop right out of there. Jill, I think I get you confused because the first time I saw you was in Ohio at Spring Bling. That's when I met you in person. And my brain is just, I don't know, set on that. Okay, so this is going to allow me, I did mine at 1 3/4, and this is going to allow my dogs or cats to sit up a little bit higher. So that's up to you if you want them down a little bit lower like I have here, or just now I trimmed at 1.75. And I'm going to put my dogs up a little bit higher to the top. So I am going to start with attaching this layer. And since I didn't do it, if you would do this at 2 1/8, it would fit right on there as a half panel. But since I did it larger, I'm just going to line up my thing with my bottom and my side edges and leave a little bit more space up here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the back or on the inside. And again, you can flip-flop those two around. All right, so tape on those two. Oh, you leave for a cruise. Hopefully you're going somewhere warm. I have a friend that's leaving for a cruise too, and I was like, I told her, I'm like, I'm jealous. I did have a lot of fun on my cruise, but I think I would be jealous right now of the warmth. All right, now I'm going to attach my other one on the inside. And now see, this inside layer still does stick up a little bit, but we're going to cover that with, you know, our silver and our red. So we're going to wait to put this one in just in case, because if you did it down further, you might need to trim this a little bit. So we'll wait. We're going to do that one almost last. Right now we are going to start with our red, and we are just going to attach it behind a silver. So you can either put tape on your silver at one edge and just kind of tap that down onto there, or you can put it on one edge of your red and place your silver. Up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. And I did about 1/8 of an inch of border of red. If you want a smaller border, you knock your socks off. If you want a bigger border, you knock your socks off that way too. So thank you, Kathleen. What Sarah needs to do is get on the ball and be more timely. Always a goal of mine. I try hard. All right, and then we can do the same thing with our other one. And you can make it about the same distance or the same width, as close as possible. One's on the inside, one's on the outside. Nobody's going to get their ruler out and check and make sure you're not off by a 1/16 of an inch. And if they do, they're off your card list. That quarter half panel die is also, for some reason, that one was cut a little bit long. That's on the new page also, and it is on sale. Because that die with 21 dies in it, and the size of it is a little bit more. I think it's actually about the price of the flip card die that we just did. Oh, so I had two that were slightly different size. I don't know why. So the longer one I'm going to put in the front. All right, so now you can attach that like depending on where you want to go. If I want to go right to the bottom of my dogs, that's going to bring my silver up to right there. And then when I attach my dogs, I can put them higher. So that's why I did that. I just wanted a little less room at the top. So I am going to attach that piece. Okay, and again, if you can put tape, because these are going to attach back to back on here. So these are going to attach back to back. So it doesn't really matter too much if you get tape over the whole thing. But just don't put tape over the whole thing and then stick it down and it sticks to that back panel. Just be careful of that. So I am just going to put tape on my bottom edge and attach it. And then when I stick the other one back to back, then I can put tape on the whole thing. For some reason, it takes me longer to do my class cards. Like I can come in here on a Thursday night and just wing it and get a card done in an hour. But sometimes when I'm doing class cards, I overthink them. So now we have that. And then this one, now if we wanted to put tape on that whole thing, we can put it on there. Now, just one note, there is a little bit more because we have the card and then the red and then this. There's a little bit more thickness. So if you wanted to put an extra swatch of paper right there, you know how sometimes we can layer with paper just to bring it up a little bit, you can do that. I don't think it's totally necessary, but if you wanted to, you know, these are going to attach and they're going to be a little, see how there's a little bit of space in there? I don't know if you can see that. But if you wanted to put a strip of paper in there or even one of those strips of chipboard, you could do that because there is just a little gap in there between our two silvers because we've got the card in there and then we've got the 2 layers of red. So what I'm talking about is if you just have a some scrap paper by you, which I always have scrap paper by me. So hang on, I'm going to trim a small piece of scrap paper. Oh, I trimmed it too thin. So if you wanted to put a small piece of scrap paper in there, just to account for the difference in the height, you could attach that just to the white, and that will make up a little bit of the difference. So not necessary, or if you even have some of that white chipboard or 2 strips of scrap paper. Let me see. So I'm going to put this one on there, and that brings them a little bit closer. That takes up a little bit of that gap in there. So not crucial, but just saying. But now I can put tape on this whole thing. And I can attach them. Now I want them back to back. So I am going to, you know, kind of line up my corner. So I have them back to back on there. And now I'm going to put my, you know, I can put my dogs or my cats on there. And again, you can put them, if you want them a little bit lower, you can put them lower, or you can put them higher. It's up to you. I'm going to put foam tape at the bottoms of my dogs. And then I do have to put foam tapes on the tops of my dogs. And again, there's a little bit more gap there, so you might do 2 layers of foam tape. Or if you want to attach your dogs flat to that and just put 1 layer of foam tape between your dogs. So I'm going to get my foam tape out. And I'm just going to put a thinner line of foam tape at the bottoms of my dogs. Attach that to my gray, or silver. It's silver glossy. I should have done my, oh, those are my dog backs. Okay, hang on. I want my dog fronts first. Now my mom, I don't know if she's still on or not, but her birthday's coming up. Now we got a couple cat cards. I don't know if she hasn't commented in a while, so I don't know if she's on, and she said that she couldn't hear a lot anyways because of background noise. But I really liked the inside of the, oh, I'm putting the dog fronts on the front, and then see the dog backs are attached back to back with them, or the cats. So dog fronts and then back to back. So, and that is called dogs and cats front and back. There's stamp and die set. I think they're super cute how you can use them front to back. Now, my other thought for using these was doing a card this way and doing a piece of pattern paper down here and up here and a piece of acetate in the middle, and then putting them on the acetate so they're kind of floating between my two layers, and front and back, because then you would use the front and the back. Or on a banded Z-fold, you could put them, because that's on that die cut, you know, if you don't have the front and back, you kind of have to make things fit. What day is my mom's birthday? It is March 19th or March 13th. March 13th. Ev is March 19th. My mom's is March 13th. Oh, Linda was letting me know that yes, I originally started out with my dog backs, but I wanted my dog fronts. I know that Rob just told me that he's low on the dog front and back. Right now, the website might only say that there's a couple available, but he's got more coming in. And I thought that Brass and Bliss, I thought they were having a sale that was site-wide, but I was wrong. They're having their new release right now is on sale. So, and I think that's, Rob was saying it's birthday stuff. So you can head over to Brass and Bliss and they have a new release sale going on. So now these guys I'm just going to put tape on them, and then I have my foam tape on the tops of the dogs. So yeah, if you're jumping over to Brass and Bliss for, you know, the dogs or the yogas or the dies, check out their new release sale too. All right, there we go. We have our front and our back. And then we are going to put this layer on the inside, and depending on how high everything is, so it's covered up because I raised mine a little bit. If you did yours lower like that, you might need to trim about 1/4 inch off of this piece, depending on where they, so before you put tape on it, make sure it's covered up all the way. So I'm going to attach that piece. Alrighty, and then, so you could put the words in this front corner because I contemplated, now I'm going to attach these together with tape and then I'm going to trim. And I contemplated putting the words on the outside. So you could do that if you have something else that you want to put on the inside. Like if you have a birthday, and there's extra words with the magic card. So I think you got a few extra words in the kit that you could, you know, put something on both the inside and the outside of this card if you wanted. So yeah, you could put your words, you know, in the center right there or in the side. And then if you have a birthday or whatever you want to put, you could just write right there. Or you could put this on the inside. Just make sure they're below your dogs. Actually, I think I'm going to put them on, the front, right in the center. And I'm going to pop them up. Or I'm going to put them off to the side here. I think I'm going to put them in the center. So yeah, there's options. I've got to get some more foam tape. So Mom, did you make it home? If you can hear me? Is Brass and Bliss coming to the Duluth in Georgia? That's in July. Yes, they are. I don't know if there's a show. There used to be 2 shows. Bobby, if you're listening, there used to be 2 shows in Duluth, or one was in Lawrenceville and one was in Duluth, kind of same area. So they do go to the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo one. So this one I put my words on the inside. This one I put my words in the front. So whatever you want. And then I still have my animals. So there we go with that. And now our last one is a magic card, which you guys should all be pros at those. Okay. And this one has a little bit of stamping if you want. Let's see. And I have to, let's see if I have I have a block. I have my Silver Encore. So last year we used this faux watercolor square stamp set. Oh, Bobby, no, they won't be at that one. They'll be at the one in the summer. So I just took, on one of them, like on the cat one, I just used this little one. There's also this one and there's that one. And I just used it as a little bit of a background. So if you want to do that, you can. I think I'm going to make an extra one of the dog because my daughter likes yoga and she has a dog. But I have a cat one too. On the dog one, I think I'm going to go ahead and use this the little one. So you certainly don't have to, but if you want to, you can do any type of little backgroundy type stamp. Or even the Stamps by Judith little dots. I can't remember what they're called. So I'm just going to get this out so it's ready. And I'm probably going to stamp that first. So let's open this sucker up. Open this bugger up and go through our pieces and parts first. So we do have our slider, our die cut slider, and the piece that you need with that is that little piece. And if you don't have that, I've got 2, so maybe I have somebody's. You can always cut that out of a scrap piece of cardstock. It doesn't even matter what color. I'm going to set that off to the side. Then we have the circle that goes right there. I'm going to set that off to the side. This is for words. That's for layering our words. And this piece right here, we're going to trim just to have a, sometimes I don't like words hanging out in the middle. I know I did that with the last card, but I don't always do that. I like them to connect to something. So my word layer and that strip I'm going to put off to the side. This one we're going to need because it's going to go right there. And actually our circle I'm going to need two, so I'm going to set those kind of right there. Then we have our envelope that we can put off to the side. You have both the cat and dog. Now you only have one card base, so you decide which one you want to do. This is with our circle window magic card. So, which I know a lot of you got those during our warehouse sale in September, but there's our circle window magic card, which I do like the circle window magic card just because it gives you a bigger area to decorate. So, but you only have, you need to pick for the one we're doing, cat or dog, and if you have more circle window magic card bases, then you can use the other one for another magic card. So I'm going to do the dog. I'm going to do the dog, then we have our magic card base, and we have our black overlay, which I'm going to stamp the black overlay first, just so I can put it off to the side. Now you don't have to stamp it, and I was looking, before I stamped it, I was looking to see if I had a dog paw embossing folder, because I thought that would be kind of fun, but I didn't. So anyways, I went with a stamp, one that you might have from last year, and you can use that, or you can use whatever you have. Now the difference, I do want to show you. I had a brain fart when I was putting this one together, and I didn't triple layer it. Like this one is layered with the card, and this blue is layered behind here. Oops, behind here. And then the black overlay on the top. That's how the cat is done. And when I did the dog one, I did it, we're just layering this behind here, and then I layered it over the circle. So same pieces, just different look. So when I do it in class, I'm going to do it like this one. But I don't mind this one with the little bit thicker right there, and just the white, the blue, and the black. So it's up to you what you want to do. I just wanted to point out my samples are both different, just a little bit different look on where you layer this piece. So, but I am going to cut, or I'm going to stamp this one first. I love the magic cards too. They're just fun. And these were our first die cut ever. Our first die cut kit. And I have to give credit to Annette from the Stamp Patch in Appleton. That was our first stamp store. And she said, "Can you do this?" We're like, "Yeah, we can do that." And that was how many? That was 30 years ago. And actually, I still talk to Annette. Like, I just had dinner with her a couple weeks ago. So fun how you meet people, you know, and make lifelong friends over stamping or business or anything. Now, I don't need to do too much right there because all right. So, and again, and you didn't even need to do that. If you wanted to leave it solid black, you could have left it solid black. I am going to just put this, because this is like a smaller stamp, I don't want it floating around. So let me just put it away really quick before it gets lost in amongst the chaos that I sometimes have going on. So I'm going to put it back in the stamp set. And then this I'm just going to set aside. We can attach that later. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. And this I'm going to leave out though, because you can make the choice to attach it to the inside of the card, or you can attach it at the end. So I forgot to ask my mom, "Mom, are you at home or are you at the dance studio yet? I have a note to pick you up, but if you're still there." I hope they did come for your car though. and either jumped it or maybe determined it needed a new battery, or maybe it's just the cold. All right. Let's go on, and we are going to start with our overlay. So this one is pulling sideways instead of up and down, so slightly different. Hang on, I gotta get a drink. I'm a little parched. All right. So, and you know, in the beginning, all the time when I did magic cards, I always put the adhesive on here for you. I didn't this time because I don't have Becky. She would be out in the shop putting your adhesive on. Now we're one woman down, so now you guys have been doing these long enough that I have confidence that you can do it. But anyways, we can cut these words off. But let's attach this and cut so we don't make sure we cut too much. You're still at the studio and staying cozy. Well, that's good. So we have our dog and we have him lined up. Now I'm going to take him and I'm going to flip him over. So you line him up, then you flip him over, and then we put tape on this very edge. So very outside edge. I'm going to see if I have a Sharpie. Now you're not going to draw on yours. I'm just drawing on mine because you want your tape as close, and it doesn't matter because I'm going to cover this up anyways. You want your tape very close to that edge. Okay, so this is the edge of my acetate. So we have him lined up so we know what the front is and what the back is. I'm flipping him over and I'm going to put tape along that edge, as close to that edge as possible. And if you can, use a narrow tape, a 1/8 inch tape, a 1/4 inch tape. I'm using a 1/4 inch tape, a 3/8 inch tape. A 1/2 inch tape is a little wide. I would try to use narrower if you have it. Some people like glue. If you do like glue, it just might take a little dry time, and which case I might be working too fast for that, and then you might have to just start and stop me. Now I'm going to line up my guy, my yoga dog. Make sure he's perfectly lined up before actually sticking your adhesive down. Now that's because I drew on there. You don't have that line on there. So I just drew on there to show you that we're attaching at the very edge, not the top edge, the side edge. Normally, when you're doing a magic card and you're pulling up, it would be that top edge. But this time, since we're pulling out horizontally, that's why we put our tape at this side edge, where directions may say the top edge, because normally you do them this way. Now, we're going to trim, and we're going to follow that line. Not my marker line. You're going to follow the edge of the acetate. So you're going to trim flush to the edge of the acetate. Flush to the edge of the acetate. All the way around. Flush to the edge of the acetate. Yeah, the red tape that's a good one to use. And I actually think, and I don't know if this is a thing yet, but I think Brass and Bliss is getting some tape. I don't know if they have it yet. I haven't seen Rob online. I thought he was going to be online, but maybe they lost power, because if they're getting ice, they could lose power. Or something. So I hope everything's okay. But I think they're getting some type of adhesive, like a red line, but maybe it's not red, but I don't know. But I'm pretty sure they're getting an adhesive. Or I could be just imagining that I heard that. So, but I'm cutting flush to the acetate all the way around. I don't know where my good scissors went. I had a good scissors in here, and right now I'm using a really jankety pair of scissors. That was obviously used to cut something sticky. All right, so I cut all the way around. First I attached my yoga dog. on the edge that's closest to the right. I lined him up. I put tape just on the edge, as narrow tape as you can, about 1/4 of an inch. Then I lined him up, attached it, and I cut flush all the way around. Now, I don't like that ugly line there, so I'm going to cover that up. My tape line, that's what this piece is for. Now, if you're like, I want a little bit more sparkle, you definitely have enough of this, because I just used this to trim a thing for there. So if you want sparkly there, you could use the sparkly instead. That's up to you. But we're going to attach this, and this is attaching flush to the edge. So you're covering up your tape line flush to the edge. I love it that they had coordinating or matching dog and cat stuff. Because I know not everybody, you know, some people are cat lovers, some people are dog lovers, some people are both lovers. But because there were both yoga cats and yoga dogs, and there was the front and back dog and cat, and then there was the little kitty and puppy silhouettes, I was able to like pull it together where I could do, you know, both of the same stuff in the cats and the dogs. I loved that. And I knew since for a while that I was going to do something, you know, with the cats and dogs. Again, it just took me a bit to come up with the samples. So we've got that attached. Now we're going to attach our circle. And now this goes in an A6 envelope, but again, you don't want that sticking out too far. So hang on one second. So I go a little bit, when I'm attaching this, I attach it a little bit less than half. If you have it sticking out too far, like if I would have stuck this one out too much further, then it wouldn't fit in my envelope. So, and if you, I forgot to say this, but if you have any Scotch tape, I'm going to show you a little trick for when you have little pullers. Oh, the cats have different, so the cats have different words. So you could always interchange your words. If you like these words that are on the cat, you could use one of them for the dog. Okay, back to this. Attach your circle to the back. So, but you're going to put adhesive on your shiny side. You're going to attach it a little bit less than half. So a little bit less than half. Center it as best as you can. Then if you have Scotch tape, you'll take it and just cover up that edge. So then when you're sliding it in and out, like it doesn't get stuck. Because if it's not covered up, see how that could, if it's not attached all the way, it could get stuck when it's sliding in and out. So if you take a piece of Scotch tape and just cover up that edge, that helps it slide more smoothly, where it doesn't get stuck on there. And that's with any like pull tab, like with the slider card or the triple tier slider. So if you have some Scotch tape, just cover up the back of that circle just so it doesn't get stuck when it's pulling in and out. And it's on the back, so who really cares? All right, so we've got that. Now, I should have mentioned this, but you could have taken that same stamp and a light blue ink pad or a light gray and done some little dots around him. So I didn't think of that, saying that before, but you could add some little stuff behind him too. I think the little Judith little stick dots, those are fun. Anyways, okay. Now we're going to go to our die cut. And again, I'm taking my fingernail and I'm just getting some of the little paper sniblets off. Now this, again, you could attach it on the inside, and I'm going to do it with this one, but if you don't like the triple layered look like we're going to get right here, you could save and attach this just to your black overlay. I just never even thought of that, because you know me, I like a bunch of layers, but I had a brain fart when I was doing it, so you could attach it there, or we are going to attach it on the inside. So if you're attaching it on the inside, you can see that this is not perfect as far as dimensions on each side. So when you're doing it, just kind of make sure before you do it that all of your edges fit inside your scores. And then I am going to take adhesive and put it on the outer edge. So I don't want to get it too close to this window because I don't want it popping through there. So I'm going to take adhesive just around on the straight edges of my layer. So first make sure which way it attaches, that it falls within the scores. Oh, Rob, I think she meant the January show in Duluth, the one that's coming up at the end of this month. You're not going to be at that one. So, unless something's going on that I don't know about, could be. But yeah, you're not going to the one in you're going to the one in Duluth that's in July, I think, the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo one. There's a smaller, different one in Duluth in January. So, anyways, so I'm just lining that up over the top of that window, and I'm placing it down. Now, if you wanted, you could again take a little bit of adhesive to make sure those edges are down and nothing gets caught, although I don't think it will. So now we know that this is the front of our card, and this is the inside of our card. This is the front with our little layer of blue. This is our inside. So we're just going to set it there, because now we need to assemble our little slider. Now with the slider, this is cut with the die. It also cuts the little thing that slides up and down, which I call it the stop, because it stops it from pulling out. It's our little paper loop. If you cut this, which I cut a few of them on my metal plate, the indents don't show up as well, just because the metal plate is so hard. So some of you may have ones that the indents don't show up. It's not tragic, okay, because the scores are not hugely deep anyways, but if you have one that, the scores don't even look like they exist at all, what you're going to do is put it behind it. You're going to fold one edge over, make sure there's extra room over here, and then fold your other side over. Okay, so if you have one that it looks like the scores are non-existent, because I did a few of them on my metal plate instead of my other one, you're going to just kind of set it up, fold it close to one side, but then make sure there's about 1/4 of an inch on the other side, and then fold that over. So we are going to put tape on the top of our, we're just making a paper loop, and we've done this before with triple tier sliders. So we're making a little paper loop. So Rob, I thought that you said that you were getting a tape, and I just said that online, and then I said, I just want to make sure I didn't imagine that, but I think you guys are getting a tape, and I don't know when. So can you confirm that I'm correct, or that I'm just hallucinating when I heard that? I don't know. So anyways, so we made this little paper loop that slides up and down, up and down. And yes, I had an old die, and we did replace them. So some of these might be a little more jig-jaggy just because I was using a die that had probably been used a bazillion times. So then we switched it to a new die, which cuts much better. So if you do have a jig-jaggy one, that's on me too, but it's also on the inside of the card. So it doesn't really matter because you don't see it. But yes, I've had some magic card dies that, yes, they are getting tape mid-March. Yay. And what will the width be? Because I really like a 1/4 inch tape for the magic card. And I'm just wondering if it will be a narrow tape that I can say, use that. So anyways, now we are going to attach our slider, and it may, or maybe it's different widths, which would be nice. We're going to attach that. So this is our back side. Remember, our front side just has our slight border. This is our inside. And we are going to be working on the right hand side. So we have our scores there, and this is our right hand panel. We are going to attach our slider just on the top and the bottom, flush with this right hand corner. So basically your slider is going to attach right here. And sometimes I have this done out of a different color so you can see it on screen. But you're basically going to attach just the top and the bottom, and it's going to be flush to this right hand corner just on here. So on the back side, I'm going to put adhesive just on the tops and the bottom of this eye-shaped piece. And yay, since Brass and Bliss is getting a little, I don't know if it's a red line tape, but a tape, I was not hallucinating. I'm not losing my mind. Not today anyways. Okay, so attach it in the upper right hand corner, and then it kind of attaches down to the bottom. And your slider thing should be able to slide all the way up and down, all the way up and down. But we want to put it in the down position, and we want to put it centered. So centered left to right. You want it centered. So this is my little stop thing. All right. And I will eventually be putting tape right there. This black line is just where I was drawing with my Sharpie. All right. Now our dog or our cat, our yoga pet, I like to take my pointer finger and separate the cardstock from the acetate. See how I just used that? And then I am going to, now I'm going to switch this a little so it can all be in view. I slide it, the T-shaped is by my belly, so this part, the T-shaped is by my belly, and I'm just going to slide that on top of the bottom of this T-shaped piece. So it's just going to slide there, kind of up to the score. It might slide past the score, but you don't really want it past the score. You just want it up to the score right here. So you're going to separate it with your pointer finger. Separate it with your pointer finger and slide it on the bottom of the T. The color, so you're just seeing the black and white guy. Then you can fold him up. Then we're going to flip him over and we can see him in the window. We're just going to pull it out and bam, there he is. So yes, some little, the little texture stamp around here would be very nice. Which you could just pull that up and stamp a few if you wanted to. You don't have to. So again, we're going to put him back on there. Remember, just slide it up to the bottom. Now, if anything's off, you can take a little trim off this bottom a little bit if you need to slide it down further. Or if you, sometimes if you use a really wide tape right here, it's not allowed to go down onto this piece enough. But remember, there's not much room right here. So you could take a hair off of right here if you used a really wide tape. But doesn't happen very often. But see how it could go past there? Oh, 1/4 inch, nice. I like it. Okay, so now we have him on there. We're going to go back to the inside. So again, we slid him onto the bottom of our T up to our score, and we have our slider, which we put on there already. We have our stop at the bottom, which is opposite of the circle. So the slider is at, or the stop is at the bottom. We're going to put tape on top of there. So tape, 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 tape. This is a good reason for a 1/4 inch tape because it will fit on there. If you're using a wider tape, you just want to be careful not to get it over here or over here. You don't want it especially where it's going to slide right here, because if you have tape right there, it's going to get all caught. So a 1/4 inch tape fits on there great. If you do get tape, you gotta just make sure to rub it off or rub it in, okay? Now we are gonna fold this over and it's gonna attach right here. So that's gonna attach approximately right there. And then as we pull this up, this is gonna move and it's gonna stop right here. That's what's gonna prevent it from pulling out. So we're just gonna fold that in, give it a little push. We can again turn it over and test it. Test it. Yay, it works. Yay. Once you make sure it works, then you're going to put tape down this side. Now only put tape down the side. Do not put tape here, and do not put tape there. If you put tape right here and right here, it's going to stick onto the back of the piece that's supposed to slide, and it's not going to slide. So tape just down this side. Hi, Diane. Wow, you're in Florida. Nice. So tape down there and then fold it in, and that's how you're closing it. Tape down there, folding it in, closing up your magic card. All right, yay. We are almost done. Then we are going to, well, let's get our piece of Miri Sparkle, because this does need to be trimmed lengthwise. So let's trim. I did about 3/8 of an inch. Oh, I can pull this over here. I'm just going to cut a hunk off of there. I seem to like my little thing right here is like it got a little lip, and that's about 1/2 inch. So it can be 1/2 inch, 3/8 of an inch, however wide you want it. You have a tiny hunk left. Again, this is where I said that if you wanted to do silver right here, you could, because you have a little bit left over. So, but this we can attach on, and I just attached it centered between the edge of the circle and right here, and then you're going to trim that off. Okay. Trim it off. I really need a cleaner scissors. I had a good scissors in here. I think my mom took it. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, and then I am going to attach this to the front. See, this was our difference in how and where we attached our blue circle. So if you didn't attach it to the inside and you just attached it to the back of your overlay, you get that look. If you attach it to the inside of your card before we assembled it, you get that look, which we talked about in the beginning. So hopefully you decided what you liked and you did it one of the two ways, or not at all. If you don't want the blue, that's fine too. Again, I apologize for if there's people on YouTube because I can't see your comments. My mom is usually my YouTube watcher, comment reader. But if she was on, well, she was on her phone, so she probably had a hard time being on both channels also. All right, now I'm going to pick a word, which my daughter likes yoga, so I might give her, although I did one with all you need is love, yoga, and a dog. She's probably going to get that one. Although it's not a boxer. Although Winnie's ears kind of sometimes look like that. I think I'm going to do this one because I have a friend that likes yoga too, so I think I'll do this one. All right, so I'm just trimming my word. They were big enough that if you wanted to use a die cut, you could have used like an oval, would be very nice. I'm going to trim them kind of close because I think the other word is not as narrow as the first word I used. And I might put it down near the bottom a little bit, which I did a very crooked cutting job. I might not be happy with that. I think I fixed it. Okay. All right. Yep, I'm good with that. And you could always overlap this circle too. That's okay. All right, now I'm going to trim my blue. So yeah, since we have room right there, you could technically overlap, but I'm just going to attach it. All right, we've got our magic card. So we've got our cards, our 3 cards from class. And again, our new products that we used were the 1/2 and 1/4 layer paneling die set, which I think is super useful. Even if you don't want them for half panels, you just have all these layers in there. And then our split front accordion layering die and our new split front accordion card, which we used the white, but I made a really pretty black sample that I'm teaching in Akron and in Stampaway. And I think Brass and Bliss is teaching that one too. So anyways, thanks for joining me tonight, guys. Everybody stay warm. And we used the Furry Friends paper pad too. So everybody stay warm, stay safe. Hope your power stays on. Hope no pipes burst. Hope all the stuff, because it's going to get nasty over the next few days. So thanks much, guys, and have a great night. Oh, I'm going to tell you one more thing before I get off, which I was going to tell you earlier and I forgot. I am having a last minute comment sold, kind of like a pop-up one. I'm going to do it on Saturday. I was going to do it tonight, I just didn't get it done, so I'm going to do it Saturday, 6 o'clock. It's going to be class kits, and I'm not going to advertise it really. So if you can catch it, that would be great. I may email all you guys because you're my class peeps, but just kind of a pop-up comment sold sale, and I've got about 50 different class kits on Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time. Thanks much, guys. See you then. Bye.